Okay, we're live. Good evening from London. Good evening from the SONGUN007 YouTube channel and from the Korean Friendship Association of the UK and the British Group for the Study of the Juche idea. And this is Dr. Dermot Hudson here. And I'm joined by Comrade Alan Bollen, who is KFA UK Organisations Secretary and head of KFA UK West of England and editor of People's Career Today. And the reason that he's here, before we get into this live stream, the reason Alan is here with me today is tomorrow. We got an absolutely fantastic meeting lined up in central London, and I think it's proved that it's important because Alan's travelled all the way from the far west of England. He's come up on the coach for 4 hours, travelled 4 hours to be here. He's going to be giving a lecture tomorrow on the Juche idea. But I'm going to share my experience with the audience about my recent visit to People's Career in April, from the 11th of April to the 18th of April. And of course, I was the first British citizen to visit People's Career since 2019. I was the first person to get the visa at the embassy. They told me that. So by sharing my experience tomorrow, we're posting details on all our social media. Please email or message us if you need the venue. We're not giving out the venue on open social media. But we will supply details of the venue if you ask. It is in central London. We've also had someone actually travel in from outside the country, from another European country, to listen to the report back and to Alan's lecture. I mean, that's very significant that people are coming from outside the country. But I think what counts is actually British people coming to the meeting, and members of KFA UK and subscribers to this channel. You need to come in, big numbers, and just saying we wish the meeting good luck is not really good enough. It doesn't help us. We need more clout to defend People's Career with no ifs or buts. And I'd also just say quickly that KFA UK is on the up and up. Today, I just received 5 new applications to join KFA UK, so we are growing. And we're hoping that soon, soon we will be able to implement a long-term aim of actually establishing branches in universities, or getting a meeting at a British university. So anyway, it's all go at KFA UK. So anyway, the subject tonight, was going to be, democracy, human rights, blah blah blah, and Juche socialism, Juche Korea. And I think good point to start with. Recently, the DPRK produced the hit song "Friendly Father." I mean, I was actually in the DPRK when that was first debuted. He made its debut. And of course, since then, the song has gone viral. It's a really amazing song that shows the unity of the Korean people around respected Marshal Kim Jong-un and the great achievements of Juche socialism. You know, so it's a very good song, and it's been shared all over the world. It's on YouTube, it's on TikTok. You know, it's gone viral. But one country decided to ban the song. Can you guess which country it was? Can you actually guess which country banned the song? No, it actually wasn't Britain. You know, Britain's not completely fascist, or not yet. No, it was actually South Korea. The vile puppet regime of South Korea actually banned the song because they don't want people knowing that uh, you know the people of the DPRK are united around Marshal Kim Jong-un, and that socialism in the DPRK is great. You know, they don't want their people knowing that, and this is because they are uh, you know, they are actually in fact a very weak regime. They're a sort of total puppet of United States imperialism. You know, South Korea is full of the slums and poverty. You know, it's the country which has the longest working hours in the world. So, you know, they are actually suppressing the truth about Hitler's career. And I think this gives lie to the myth that's been created by the mainstream media, by so-called NGOs and think tanks and liberal academics who are in the pay of the bourgeoisie, in the pay of the class emini. You know, all these people have combined to create a false narrative about the DPRK and a false narrative about the Korean Peninsula. And you know, the myth is that the US troops in South Korea are not actually occupying South Korea. You know, that they are there to defend, quote unquote, so-called South Korean democracy from the DPRK, which they paint in the worst ever colours. And of course, the propaganda against the DPRK has steadily got worse and worse over the years. You know, it's become even more toxic. I mean, it was always toxic, but it become worse in the last 10 or 20 years, you know, and it's intensified. It's like 24/7. It's like on an industrial scale. So you know, there's part of this false narrative about South Korea is some wonderful democracy. It's a liberal human rights paradise where people can dance around and all kinds of things. But you know, it's threatened by this dark regime in the north, and you know, this is a complete myth. It is a complete myth because otherwise, South Korea would not have banned the song "Friendly Father." They would have never uh, done done that at all. You know, no, and if South Korea was so wonderful, they wouldn't need to do this. You know, it's like the way that supporters of the DPRK are victimized in the imperialist countries. You know, if the DPRK was so bad, they wouldn't need to fire people from jobs for supporting the DPRK, or carry out character assassination campaigns on social media, or like in the the silly mole film. uh, you know, it's, they just would not need to do this, but they do it on quite an industrial uh, scale. And with South Korea, if you look at its history, it's not a democracy at all. It is a fascist regime. It was established by the United States, uh, uh, basically at bayonet points. Basically, in 1945, Korea had been liberated from Japanese imperialist rule, thanks to the Korean People's Revolutionary Army, commanded by President Kim Il Sung, an ever victorious iron-willed, brilliant commander and gifted strategist, and also with some assistance from the Red Army of the USSR. Korea was actually liberated, but 3 weeks after liberation, the Yankees sneaked into South Korea and occupied South Korea, and created, first of all, a direct rule military administration in South Korea, and then a puppet regime under Syngman Rhee, uh, discredited bourgeois nationalist who'd actually nicked a lot of money from the Korean independence movement, and his regime was truly despotic. You had the Bodo League massacre, which is something that's even acknowledged by the damn Wikipedia. They acknowledged that, but I mean, that was just the tip of the iceberg. There were massacres on Jeju Island and other places in South Korea, and I think up to 1 million people killed by the South Korean puppets. Though the mainstream media never tell you this, and all these liberal academics never write about it. They never write about it. Why? Because some of them are actually in the pocket of the South Korean puppet regime. They're getting paid by the South Korean puppet regime. They have lovely, cushy jobs at South Korean puppet universities, or they are being funded by South Korea, and they go on expenses paid beanos to to South Korea, and slap up dinners and Rolex watches and the Hyundai cars are given to them. They write all sorts of lies about the DPRK, but also whitewash South Korea and make it out to be something that it is not. And massacres are very much part of South Korean history. People have heard about Indonesia, and there's the film Year of Living Dangerously, and everybody's heard about the Suharto dictatorship and the massacre of Indonesian communists, but people don't hear about all the massacres that have been carried out in South Korea. And of course, this week we saw the 44th anniversary of the Gwangju massacre, when 5,000 citizens were massacred by the South Korean puppet army, and with the involvement of US forces in South Korea. There was a Yankee warship on standby, and some accounts said that US helicopters actually took part in the massacre. And the whole thing about South Korea is, there's operational control exercised by the US over the South Korean military. Therefore, its armed forces cannot move an inch without the say-so of the US commander. This is a fact. So, I mean, today, South Korea is a fascist regime. The left is suppressed in South Korea. Communist parties are illegal because you have the national security law. And if you praise or sympathize with people's career, you can get a jail sentence of 7 years. And in fact, you can even be sentenced to death. And let us not forget that, South Korean communists were executed by the South Korean puppets in the 1960s. They were murdered by the DSK puppet regime. And today, it's got one of the highest suicide rates in the world, the longest working hours in the whole world, and it is a vile dictatorship. And so it is weak because they would not need to have the national security law, and they wouldn't need to ban a lovely song like Friendly Father. I mean, how can that really be a threat to the security of South Korea? Just briefly, what do you think about that, Alan?
But that's what is in South Korea, the showing how is the pro-West imperialist democracy works indeed. All the repressions, all the conditions of working class, of the standard of the life in the working class, working long hours, dying so young, people on the way, unemployed and poverty. That's everything showing how the mm, democracy, West democracy, is working. The democracy been bringing by U.S. troops to South Korea, been expanding by military base, which keeping control on the South Korean puppets regime government. And that's what is there is exactly showing which direction is going that country and opposite to the direction which is the POK. That's all of the proof that which are the real in reality the values of West imperialist so-called democrats. That's what I think.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much, Alan. Yes, I totally agree with your comments. Very good. Uh, and also, I mean, the Western imperialist countries are not democratic at all. People are fired from their jobs for supporting the DPRK, and there's like heavy censorship. Only a few weeks ago, a video was deleted from my YouTube channel. It's deleted by YouTube, allegedly because it was uh, it was bullying and harassment, which is total nonsense. It's I've never bullied anyone in my life, and it was simply a caricature of the South Korean puppet fascist dictator Yun. But I think YouTube followed the orders of the South Korean puppets. Uh, so Western societies are not democratic at all.
Well,
It
I
is
think
fake
yeah, I think
democracy.
there is the important statement to say if they banned that song and many things other, why is not democracy? Because truly democracy doesn't is not afraid the truth. In democracy values, you can say whenever you want, you can publish whenever you want, and you don't have to be afraid of that. This is not democracy which is banding anything, because truly democracy is based on the showing the truth. So simple is not democracy. Democracy is not when you cannot publish what you want, or the government is controlling and what is not in them directions how they want to be, is simply dilating, like this song. It shows the proof that is simply not democracy.
Yes, I think that's right, Alan. I mean, what you have in all the Western countries is so-called bourgeois democracy, which is democracy for the bourgeoisie, basically, and not for the workers and other sections of society. It is a bourgeois dictatorship. Whereas in People's Korea, you have the dictatorship of the proletariat, or a people's democracy. And I think it's very important to uh, understand the term dictatorship of the proletariat, because I think it's frequently misunderstood by people. So
Start power of majority for minority. In the opposite of the West democracy, bourgeois democracy, is the power of minority over the majority. That's the true, is like opposite way.
yes, I mean that's correct. I mean the dictatorship of the proletariat really meant that instead of state power being in the hands of the bourgeoisie, it's now in the hands of the proletariat, the working class, and they use that power against the former capitalist class, the former landlords and capitalists and bankers, and the elite, former elite and parasites. They use and it is basically they do exercise dictatorship over these classes, but at the same time it actually increases democracy, because it is actually democratic for the majority of the people, the workers and the farmers and working intellectuals. It's actually democratic for them. So it's a new form of it's new and higher form of democracy, which never existed before. And of course, as it is used to build socialism and communism. And by the way, the DPRK didn't delete reference to communism. It's been referenced in many speeches of respected Marshal Kim Jong-un. And also, very significantly, recently, the new party cadres training school was opened, at which portraits of Marx and Lenin were displayed. And, this was nonsense that was made up by NK News,
Yeah,
who
and
are a fake
I think
outfit.
also is important to say, because many people when hear the term dictatorship is thinking it is something negative. In socialist system, dictatorship means power to working class. This is opposite to dictatorship of the bourgeois classes. So actually, dictatorship means all the power is in the hand of working class, which have a power and over of the every aspect of the life of the country to build up socialism. So in this term, dictatorship has not any meaning of the negative meaning, like some of the bourgeois West propagandists or West media are trying to prove, which is not true, because the power is to working class. That's the meaning of dictatorship of proletariat, of this class, who is taking the power from the ordinary people, popular masses.
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely correct. And you know, when you visit the uh, DPRK, you will see that there are no human rights violations. I've been all over the DPRK, and I've never seen a prison camp. There's certainly no concentration camps. This is a disgusting slander against the DPRK. Which tries to equate the DPRK either with Nazi Germany or, in fact, with British imperialism, because it was actually the British imperialists who first used concentration camps during the Boer War. Not a lot of people know that, as Michael Caine would say, but it's a grave slander on the DPRK socialist system to suggest that such things exist. Of course, there is re-education through labour for a very tiny minority of hardened criminals. But these people are just a tiny minority, insignificant minority in society. And I say I've certainly never seen camps. I can also honestly say that in 19 visits, I've never actually seen the police arrest anyone. Uh, there is a minimal police presence in Pyongyang. That's a fact. It's not like London, where you will see a heavy police presence in some working class areas or areas where ethnic minorities live, or Brazil, for example, where you can see four kinds of police on the streets at any given time. Uh, and in the DPRK, people have free housing, which is something we can't imagine in Britain. Free healthcare, free education, taxation was abolished. There's low cost food, low cost public transport. What is there to actually be against? uh, you know, uh, do you need, you don't need so-called opposition parties. And it's funny, in the UK, we've now got a so-called general election. To me, it's like a clown show, uh, and, uh, I was just looking at a few things for it. In the DPRK, you can retire at 60 if you're a man, 55 if you're a woman. But in Britain, no party wants to, that I know of. I know someone's probably going to correct me and say CPB or Workers' Party of Britain, but certainly none of the mainstream parties are saying, "Oh, we're going to reduce the retirement age to 60," or no parties are saying that we're going to abolish council tax, or we're going to abolish leasehold service charges, or we're going to give people free housing or cut rents down to like
Yeah, all the
£1.
yeah, all the things are not possible in UK and will be not possible. Why is like that? Because capitalist government, bourgeois government need money to many things. To, for example, war on Ukraine. How is the budget spent and the massive spend for that? From somewhere, that money must go to the budget. From which way? For the longer work until to be pensioned, to be retired, of course, to be longer to expropriate the money, to take the money for government. Another way, taxes, another council tax, rising cost of living. All of the operation, all of the methods are for grab as much money is possible from working class to put on the budget to be spent not for working class, but for interest of the bourgeois democracy, pseudo democracy. That's what it is.
Yes, thank you, Alan. And I'll just say a bit to conclude on the subject, and then I think we start taking questions from the live chat that's appearing. Uh, and in this country, and I think all other capitalist countries, you got a farcical situation where the possibility of the winning party forming the government is, in fact, it's in reality, it will be a party that may have won less than a third of the votes of the total electorate. That's a fact in the UK. If you look at the votes won by each winning party, you can see it's actually that the majority of the electorate have not actually voted for that party. So, I mean, that makes it nonsense. Whereas in the DPRK, governments are elected with almost 100% support. Bourgeois democracy is simply based on money. Whichever party has the most money wins the elections. And, you've only got to look at the USA to know that, where, whoever can get the most donations from corporate capital will usually be sure to win the election. All the main parties in capitalist countries represent the interests of monopoly capitalists and the elite. Comrade Alejandro Caldebenos, KFA president, wrote in his book, Korea, the Sungum Citadel, which I recommend people to win, that in the DPRK you cannot find one ballot paper that is tainted with money. Indeed, bourgeois democracy has become so corrupt, not only does money determine the outcome of the election, but the members of parliament actually have their snouts in the trough of parliamentary expenses and seek to make the maximum amount of money through their efforts. In the DPRK, deputies to People's Assemblies you often workers or farmers, a street cleaner was actually elected to the Supreme People's Assembly. Now, in Britain, street cleaner is regarded as one of the worst jobs. And when I was a kid, my mother used to encourage me to read and write, saying, "Oh, if you can't read and write, you have to be a street cleaner when you grow up." And it was used as a threat to make me read and write. But in the DPRK, this is an honourable job, and a street cleaner was elected as Supreme People's Assembly, and also woman trolley bus driver was elected to a local People's Assembly. So it is a genuine people's democracy. It's genuine working class rule. These are people ruling the DPRK. I'm going to stop there. I don't know if you want to just say a few words in conclusion, Alan, and then we take some.
Example on the finished subject, how the West democracy is working, actually, how it's working for us. In this year or last year, we have in UK local election, and the local election shows us how the democracy is working. Receiving one day letter, big envelope, open the letter, we see few people candidates, liberal Democrats, whatever. And I'm asking myself, do I know that people? Where from they are? They never seen, never contact me, never say what they're gonna do if they get the parliament for me. And now they sending me letter, showing the picture, fantastic words about themselves, giving vote for them. That things wouldn't be possible in DPRK. If someone want to be elected from even from ordinary people, is going through the masses, explain them what they're going to do, recommending by party, recommending by people, have a support, have a trust. People know this person. This is the first simple things, because that person is from citizens, from ordinary people. In case in UK, as I given that example from local election, you don't know them. You've seen somewhere on newspapers locally, then they are on the ruling classes, the rich people who want to get to parliament and sending you envelope. When they get parliament, they forgive you. And I'm asking, is that democracy? In my opinion, is not.
No, no, of course not. Yeah, I mean, in DPRK, people elect people they know. Yes, well, thanks, Alan. Let's start taking the questions one by one, or comments. Yes, South Korea has the highest suicide rate in the world. Yes, very true. I feel like smashing up my BTS CD and tearing up the book over there, hating the DPRK. Yeah, I mean, K-pop is rubbish. It's totally decadent rubbish. It's just a copy of American imperialist and Japanese imperialist music. Ah, greetings from the Polish branch of KFA.
Thank you very
Do you
much.
want to greet them in Polish?
Yeah, thank you very much for greetings from Korean Friendship Association Poland. Victor, yes, thank you very much, Victor. Thank you to join us today, and please watch us tomorrow on the live stream.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Sorry, Korea needs to shut the front door.
Well, actually, the DPOK shut the door because the
Yeah.
new policy is completely shut
Yes.
the door. So that's what happened.
Yeah. Right. What do you
Mm.
think of George Galloway? Well, I say I don't want to sort of get into UK domestic politics. All I'm going to comment on about Mr. George Galloway is that he's someone who could actually do something to defend the DPRK and actually support KFA, but he doesn't. He's actually visited the DPRK back in the 1990s and wouldn't say anything about it. Regrettably, with Mr. Galloway, not only does he refuse to defend the DPRK, he's actually attacked the DPRK, and I've seen a whole series of hostile comments to that Galloway has made about the DPRK, which is very regrettable to say the least. So, I mean, for that reason I do not like him. I know he's got support and he's got a good position on some issues, but from a KFA point of view, to put it very diplomatically, his position on the DPRK is very bad. If he was a genuine, he should put it. Uh, he should really start supporting the DPRK and help KFA UK out. I see a growing number of self-proclaimed socialists that are more aligned with Germany than Russia. Well, I think that's true. I don't know. Uh, you know, I'm sure that's true. Good evening, Songum. It's the DPRK. Where did you go? Well, I'm not sure what you're asking exactly, but if you're asking my travels in the DPRK
Cool.
in the last visit back in April, it was in Pyongyang, but we went outside Pyongyang to see the Kangdong greenhouse vegetable farm. Previously in the DPRK, I've been to many parts of the DPRK. Such as Panmunjom, Kaesong, Sarawon, Nampo City, Samijom before it was rebuilt, I would add, Mount Pakdu. I've been through Sinadu twice on the train, and I've been to Mount Moihang, so I've been to a number of different parts of the DPRK, and just look for questions. It's our Yes, it's our friend from the Netherlands. What do you think the future of the DPRK will be with all those threats from the Western puppets? I think the DPRK has a great future, and when I was there, I was convinced of the DPRK's great future. Despite the sanctions, I could see massive construction work going on.
Yeah.
So, without a doubt, I think Juche and self-reliance will overcome the sanctions, and they will smash the sanctions into the ground, and the DPRK will have a great future. And because of its nuclear deterrent, it will be the US imperialists won't be able to threaten it. Gone are the days when the US had the atomic monopoly and a monopoly of terror. Those days are over. Communism is forbidden in Turkey. Yes, I heard. Good point from our Canadian friend. I'm a Canadian. I had to say an oath to the British Queen's family to work in our military. Very democratic. We don't even elect our PM, and we didn't have a constitution
Yeah.
until the
Very good point.
1990s. We don't even elect our provincial leaders. Oh, yes, gerrymandering. Is it possible to purchase the type of winter jacket that Kim Jong Il used to wear, the purple and white one? Possibly, but you would have to go to the DPRK to try and get it. Yes, I agree with Flynn Loot. Indeed, all the nasty things that the UN says about the DPRK is just they think that DPRK is a threat for capitalist countries because the Duce system works the best. Yeah, I mean, good point. From Kirkland's.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean,
Precisely.
Rishi Sunak was never elected. He never stood. He never was elected by the British people, not even elected by his own
Wall Street.
party. He became prime minister by default.
London City.
Yeah,
There
it's
is all the decision,
yeah.
not people decision. No.
Even in America, they have the Electoral college. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that is a crazy system. Never worked out how it really works, but it's a very undemocratic system. So the US is not even a real bourgeois democracy. Hence, money talks and bullshit walks away the winner. Elsa Street. Yes. Well, I mean, this question here about the DPRK's change in policy towards the South and about no peaceful solution. Well, we talked about it before quite a lot. And I think it reflected the reality, that everything had been done to achieve peace. There was free. Marshal Kim Jong Un actually held 3 summits with Moon Jae-in, and they went nowhere. And I've actually myself have actually been to Panmunjom once before the 3 inter-Korean summits and the 2 summits with the US, and after. And as I've said before, I couldn't see any difference. There was no relaxation of tension. So the DPRK has decided that it's no use talking to South Korea. and that peaceful reunification is unfortunately an illusion. Because the South Korean puppets want to overthrow the socialist system of the DPRK, and they were actually trying to do this through covert means, in the past, and trying to infiltrate into the DPRK and infiltrate their rotten, corrupt, and putrid way of life into the socialist DPRK. And DPRK has said no. They said no, you're not going to do that. And you know, they've called it a day, and I think this is the absolutely correct thing.
So many attempts to from South Korea and been tolerated by DPOK so far, and they said stop, it's too much. They simply said no, no more. So in this case, it's not really possible to any peaceful solutions, because that the conditions it kept so long time, and every attempt to be as a lying from South Korea puppets, attempt to cooperation or any finding any solution, cooperation, or any solution. Unfortunately, there is not possible now.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, good point. People should challenge some of these sort of anti-DPRK types. Saying, "Have you ever been to the DPRK?" Because most of them have not. Uh, you know, have not actually been to the DPRK. They've not actually been there, and a lot of these academics who write books about the DPRK are based in South Korea. They've never set foot in the DPRK. And they might think of themselves as clever intellectuals, but all they're doing is actually parroting propaganda from the South Korean National Intelligence Service and the CIA. Yes, Captain DPRK, do not refer to the supreme leader of the DPRK in the sort of that kind of manner. It's sort of disrespectful. Like Matt, who went to the water park, said people talk. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, I mean, I hope I haven't missed out any questions. Right. Okay. Right. Point taken. It just Okay. Right. Thank you. Anyway, any more questions? We take
Minutes, yeah.
we take a few more questions and sort of wrap up about 2,000 hours our time. I think it's gone well, and of course the stream will be saved for people to watch. Right. Defender. Well, people are tilting here about Nelson Mandela. I don't know too much about him, but yeah, I can imagine that he probably slandered socialism, because he was very disappointing once he got into power. He was perhaps he was a bit like Jomo Kenyatta. He'd actually been a member of in fact, part of the leadership of the South African Communist Party, but I mean, that didn't seem to stop him from becoming anti-communist uh, in old age. Is there Canadian KFA? Yes, there is. We have a new official delegate for KFA in Canada. They've got a Facebook page set up. I mean, if you email them or contact them on Facebook, I'm sure they'd be pleased to hear from you. KFA is growing all over the world. I mean, we got KFA, a new KFA branch in Kenya, for example, just to name one of the countries. That we've expanded to. I heard that KFA in Netherlands stopped. Well, we can tell you a few stories about that. Do you want to say anything, Alan?
Say first, and I will add something.
That stopped because, in my opinion, KFA Netherlands got sort of infiltrated. There was a sort of funny character called Marcel van Stralen, who, despite seemingly quite enthusiastic, showed himself to be a very
Enthusiastic and ambitious.
yeah, he showed himself to be an incredibly undisciplined and individualistic person.
Well,
Uh,
the point is, Korean Friendship Association is not belong to me, to Dr. Dermot or Marcel van Stralen or anybody else. This is international organization which has president Alejandro Caudebenos, and we are under directions of Alejandro, and because we are organization which is in the central is in the Spain under Alejandro, and any kind of misdiscipline or any kind of break the rules like in normal organization must be the answer the same. It cannot be things like that, of course. No. Every organization is based of any rules which the members and also maybe the leadership must listen that rules, must listen the president, must listen the general director, and every attempt to break the rules, break the discipline, must given the replay on the unfortunately negative. I mean, every organization must follow to discipline and rules. If it's different, if it's no discipline, that is different way to resolve that case.
yeah,
That's
I
my
mean
opinion.
that's
That's what happened with Korean Friendship Association, Netherlands and Martin Van Stralen or whatever was it. Marcel.
Marcel. I mean, he was just he just couldn't work with anyone. He did not understand collective discipline.
Yes,
He just did
yes.
not seem to have any basic, understanding of it. So, yeah, I mean, uh, he was, yes, removed. I mean, he created a farcical, I think, DPRK International Friendship Group or Friendship Association on Facebook, which I think is probably only him, or or he says he's now married to a Chinese woman. So maybe it's two people, but it's say. But I mean, we would look to re-establish KFA Netherlands if there is a reliable and disciplined individual who wants to take on the job. I mean, we can do it, but only serious people and no jokers or people who can't work with others. All right. I can't really answer why the marshal no longer wears his portrait pin badge. I can't answer for that. I mean, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Is KFA USA active? Well, they're very active. They have online meetings. I actually conducted an interview with them, just waiting for them to upload it. Hello to both of you. Will you be sharing photographs from tomorrow's
I think
event?
so.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be sharing the photographs. In fact, we're hoping to live stream it. We're hoping to live stream. It may not be possible. No, there's not. There is not a KFA in China. And there's some comments. Don't know what.
I have no idea. It's Arabic or
Yes.
something like. We sorry. We just we can't read that. English, please.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we
Could
can't
you
read
put
that.
your comment in English and we'll try
Mm.
and respond. We're going to close down soon. I think it's been
Mm.
a good live stream, I think. But I mean, if there's any more questions, please quickly. And I
Feel free.
do hope that I have not missed anyone, because that's a worrying thing. Because sometimes the chat goes mad and stuff gets buried in the chat or even disappeared. I think we've. Oh, someone's put a comment. Oh,
Arabic.
right, thanking us in
Mm.
uh
Arabic. Unfortunately, I can't read Arabic.
well, comrade, sorry for our ignorance and not being able to understand Arabic. Uh, you are most welcome. I'm glad you've actually joined this chat, and I take this opportunity to express my full solidarity with the Palestinian people, with the and Arab peoples fighting against international Zionism and US-led imperialism. From the rivers to the sea, Palestine shall be free. Uh, I saw the KFA Russia account on Twitter. Is this an official account or forgery? Uh, Yeah, I'll have to check. I haven't seen it. There is KFA Russia. Maybe they're becoming more active and they started a Twitter account. That would be good if they've done that. Okay, well, it's now 2 minutes past 8. So I don't know if there's any more questions. I think we better close now. Uh, you know, uh, hope I don't.
Thank you very much for the
Miss any
continuation.
questions. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Kirkland. We will have a good day. Well, it's actually evening now, and we've got a long day ahead of us tomorrow. We've got the meeting and we've got a barbecue down here, anti-imperialist KFA barbecue, and Comrade Alan's wife has kindly donated a nice banana cake for us. So you know, that's going to be good. I'm sure the meeting's going to be good. Just say yes, hello, Magnus. Anyway, I think it's been a great live stream. So goodbye now. See you all on the next live stream. Thank you for being there. Well, yeah, I mean, probably we'll see if we can find a US flag or SK flag to burn. Yeah, we'd do that. Okay, bye now, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao. Hmm.